phrases in Scripture that sort of just pop out at you. And the gospel has one of those tonight. As the disciples came down from the Mount of Transfiguration, what they had seen disappeared. And we are told the disciples saw only Jesus. They saw only Jesus. The entire center of our Christian faith is to see Jesus. Have you seen Jesus? Probably not on the Mount of Transfiguration. But we might ask, how do we know what he looks like? How would I know what Jesus looks like? He tells us that in Scripture also, in Matthew 25. When he said, I was hungry, you fed me. I was naked, you clothed me. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. Many will say, Lord, when did we see you like that? And he said, whatever you've done to the least of these, my children, you've done unto me. What does Jesus look like? He looks like a little girl who has no dress. He looks like a little boy who hasn't eaten for 4 days. Whatever you've done to the least, you've done it to me. We sort of miss that nuance. The little boy comes to me and he says, Mister, you got any water in that jug you got around your waist? I haven't had a drink for 2 days. I said, sure, drink all you want. Give me the whole jug. What have I just done? Did I give a drink of water to a little boy? No. I gave Jesus a drink of water. A few things about a group of Christian people who have discovered some of the abject destitution in our neighborhood, in our world, but really our neighborhood in Central America, in Latin America, and in the Caribbean. Food for the Poor. I've been here before. Some of you get many of our mailings. Just a little reminder of what we do and what they do. It's an organization that came into being by one man only 36 years ago. We began our 36th year last week. We've been doing this now 35 years. And it began with one man seeing some of the poverty, a businessman in Haiti, an American businessman who was in Haiti. And he was overwhelmed by what he saw. He couldn't go to work for about a month. He worked with a shipping company. He studied Matthew. He memorized Matthew. He wrote 2 little booklets on Matthew 25. Very devout Christian businessman. And then he decided to start feeding people that he saw dying of hunger, not just hungry. And he went to Publix grocery store. Publix are a big grocery chain in the South and Southeast. And he knew all about Publix and other things because he was in the import-export business. Brought him a lot of foods. And he said, I want some money. I want you to help me to start feeding people. And he thought he was losing his money. And they gave him 2 bags, gunny sacks. One of beans, one of rice. He says, see what you do with this. That was only 35 years ago. And within a few days, he started giving out this food in the streets of Jamaica. 35 years later, starting only 5 years ago, Food to the Poor has shipped out over $1.3 billion worth of resources to help the destitute in our neighborhood. That's a B with a billion. And just a reminder that people often ask, what are your admin costs? What are your salaries? Very valid question. I ask myself at any group. And we're happy to report that last year our admin costs on $1.3 billion was 3.6% for administration. That means since our beginning, since our inception, every dollar that people give to Food for the Poor, a minimum of 95% goes to the destitute. Now, I've used that word a few times, destitute. Let me share with you a little something about poverty and destitution. There are 2 different concepts. Poverty is when you have nothing. And poverty is growing in America. We're getting more poverty than ever before. In some of our major cities, like Chicago, like Miami, like New York, like Los Angeles. But we have zero destitution in America. What's the difference between poverty and destitution? Poverty is when you have nothing. But there's always a place you can go, even in a cold night. And some of us who live in the southern plains, our transient population increases more than 100-fold, sometimes up to 500-fold in cold winter nights. Because when people are having a hard time in life, not just being poor, maybe after a divorce or losing your job, there's something about the human spirit wants to go to warmth. It goes toward the sun. And that's why during winter months we have so much immigration from the north to Florida, to Texas, to Southern California, to Arizona. It's warm, but I want to get away. And you can't go much farther than South Florida, Key West. Poverty. But there's a place to go. Nobody has to die of starvation in America. Every church just about supports food kitchens. I'm sure you do. We should support as much as we can. Because there are many times people are really in desperate straits, even in wealthy America. And we help. Destitution is when there's no place to go. There is no way that you can find what you need, whether it's health or whether it's food. And that is one of the reasons why, and here's a figure that might shock you, 20,000 human beings die on this planet every year because of starvation. Not old age, not sickness, not illness, not accidents, hunger. And the greatest tragedy is there's enough food on this planet, or the potential to grow more food. We have so much of it in the storage, it's unreal. We use a lot of it and distribute a lot of it. But there's enough food all throughout the world to feed every man, woman, and child, and pet, dog, cat, turtle, rabbit into obesity. So why are 20 million people dying on enough food to feed everybody? One of the main reasons human beings haven't figured out yet how to figure that out. Because there's such a thing called greed. There's such a thing that's called competition. I want to be better than you. I want more money than you. I can never make enough money. I want to be a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. As though this somehow, it's that human spirit continually asserts itself, which is the same basic sin of the Tower of Babel, where human beings continually want to say, I want to be God. I want power. I want authority. I want my life to be better than yours. And I'm going to war to protect it. And I'll kill you before you kill me. That's called sin. It's sin of the human heart. And we overcome that only with the gospel of Jesus Christ. There was a scholar, a Fulbright scholar, just recently, you may have heard about this. He spent 5 years studying some scientific project with NASA. As he went back to China, someone asked him, he said, what impresses you about the most about Americans? He said, the most impressive thing, he didn't even think about it, was their religion. They are a religious people. And they do things that are right because they're right. Now you got to think about that for a minute. Who taught you not to steal? Who taught you not to hurt another person? It comes out of our faith, our religion. We do things because they're the right things to do. And then he said this word. He said, you cannot build an army big enough to control the human heart when it's bent on evil. The armies and the power will not make society go. It's the spirit of the human soul. And that spirit which we have, and I'll talk about that maybe a little bit, comes from having seen Jesus. Having seen Jesus when there was little boys and girls in Sunday school. when we were growing up, going through some struggles of life. The poverty of the spirit is even worse than the poverty of the human body. But in places like Haiti, and also you find solutions in Salvador and El Salvador, to try to comprehend what it's like to be really in destitution is hard. I found I cannot really communicate a lot of things that I've seen in life to people. Sometimes I show films, I show pictures. If you haven't experienced certain things, you'll never understand them. I used to wonder why my uncles never talked about Normandy. Talked to Michael Freddie once. He landed in Normandy. I said, Freddie, what was it like? All he would say is, it's bad. It's bad. Tell me more. We got an Amtrak. I said, I want a ship. How did you get on the line? It was bad. I never understood them. Now I do, having been in Vietnam, and personally having had over 200 funerals, which I've had, in a 5-year period during Vietnam. I understand you don't talk about it. Because people don't understand. I want to engage in conversation. Sometimes I want to argue the politics of it all. No, it's bad. But that's the human spirit. The poverty of the soul. But the poverty of the body is bad also. And that's why it tells pictures and tells stories. Take hunger, for example. It's hard to comprehend what it's like when you have children and grandchildren and there's no food. What do you do? What do you do? My boys and my girls haven't eaten for about 3-4 days. They've had some muddy water. And that's a real situation throughout the Caribbean. By the thousands, that's part of the 20,000. What the mothers do, they obviously have no electricity. You have no refrigeration. You have no way to preserve anything. They go down by the riverbanks and they scoop up mud and clay and make little patties, little patties out of mud and clay. This is a sample of one right here. We sell them on the street corners. And when a child is screaming with hunger pangs, you break off a little piece like this. Put a little sugar on it. Maybe it's some kind of flavor that Kool-Aid to give this to a child. When they are excruciatingly in pain with hunger pangs, I've never had hunger pangs like that. I've been told by medical people there's no greater pain than a hunger pang. When the belly is distended, you can count the ribs. There's no flesh in the bones. And it's hurting. It's hurting. Mama will break this off and give it to a child. And it does work for a short period of time. Strange as it may, but it does work for a while. Because it's something in the stomach. And also this has a lot of calcium in it. Same ingredients that you use in Rolaids and acids. But there's something else here. You don't see this. It's called bacteria. And that bacteria gets in those little bodies and stretches those muscles and causes the second condition to be worse than the first. Now how do you explain, now let's get to the bottom of a real problem. How do you explain bacterial infections or any bacterial to an illiterate mother who understands nothing about the modern world because she's never had an education? And she's basically illiterate in all things. Now we try to talk to them, but so often what will happen, when voodooism was strong in the Caribbean, you might go to the voodoo priest, and he'll kill a couple of chickens. It used to be babies, but they kill a couple of chickens. Incantations. Because the one thing that such a person is involved in and fearing is a God of wrath and anger. So many of the world religions, I'm going to go into this, I wrote a lot of manuals for the troops going to foreign countries. I've been to many of the countries. I've been in all 7 continents over the course of my ministry. And I've studied a lot of world religions. And every world religion except Christianity, maybe a little bit even there, has a concept of the wrath of God. A God that is angry and wants to hurt us and punish us. And how do you overcome that? You go to the priest and do sacrifices. Let's say they sacrifice chickens. We have some voodooism coming into our area of South Florida. And some of our current people continually work with us. How do you deal with voodooism out of South Africa? in the Caribbean, and also in Miami. It's to understand so many people are afraid of God. They don't know a gospel that we talked about tonight. We don't know about the people who see Jesus in his glory, transfigured. And we see him on Easter morning in his glory. We see a Jesus who is our friend. We see a God of grace and mercy and love. And as I try to minister, and I do minister to children so often who have never heard the name Jesus, never heard the name, they have never been in Sunday school. And I try to talk to them about a friend they have. You can be so afraid of everything. I'm afraid I have no food. I'm afraid people don't like me. I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. I'm afraid of God. If I do be bad. So let me tell you about your friend. His name is Jesus. And we talk, and I say, you can talk to Jesus. And listen, he'll talk back to you. And he walks with you. He'll never forsake you. He'll always be your friend. And when I go from time to time, over the years, I've gone many, many times. I'll go visit the projects during the week. And I'll go to an orphanage. I'll go to a school. And all of a sudden I find 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids are on my ankle, they're on my waist. What are they saying? Missionary Wolf, tell us a story about our friend. They love it. I tell the parables. I've gone through a couple of art book series. Some of you know the art books. Tell them about their friend. So that they too can see Jesus. Now there is food for the body. We have fed over about 1.5 million last year, 1.5 million people during the year, and that's food for the body. But what's more important is food for the soul. It's the food for the soul that is so critical, that we can tell them about Jesus. We can show them about Jesus. You see, the word gospel is a verb, it's also a noun. It's a noun and a verb. You do the gospel. You don't talk about the gospel. We do the gospel. That's what Jesus did. He was doing the gospel on the cross. And what we are as a people of God in the church is to be doers of the gospel in the world, not just in the church. The church is sort of like the thing of a gas station. When you're running low on gas, you go fill it up with gas. When you go to the gas station, what do? You just sit there and listen to music. You sit there, got a full tank of gas, isn't that great? No, you put it in gear and you go. And that's not coming to church. Coming to church, here's the gas station. But once we receive that nourishment, and that gospel, and that Lord's Supper, his body and his blood, our task is to go into the world and rejoice as we tell people in their poverty, in their need, about Jesus. And so there is food for the soul that is an eternal food. Isn't it amazing how Jesus uses these words so often? The water of life. He who drinks of me will never thirst. And you know you can't go more than a couple of days without water to live. You got to have water. It might be putrid, it might be filthy, it might make you sick, but you need water. You can go a little longer without food. But you can't go long without water. And these are the similes Jesus uses. He who drinks of me will never thirst. Eat my body, eat my blood, for the strengthening of your faith. He uses those in imageries. But there was a time when Jesus was facing a large crowd of people. 5,000 were told. Probably more than that, because they counted over the men. You got 5,000 men, you probably got 5,000 women and kids. It's a large group. And he was going to talk with them. But then he had found out they had nothing to eat. He tells the disciples, before we go on, feed them. And Jesus, the disciples, we have no food. How are you going to feed me? You have no food. Feed them. The food will appear. Feed them. Have faith. And then sit down. And he fed them. Over 5,000. And then afterward, there were baskets that were left over. So often Jesus tells us, do this, do that. I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. One man says, I can feed these few people with some gunny sack of beans I've got and another gunny sack of rice. Take Jesus at his word. 35 years later, you're not running $1 billion, $300 million operation with no effort at any point ever to succeed and be big. No 5-year plans, No college graduates, we were all college graduates, none of us are economists. But we do this, we advertise this, we do that. You find a boy that's thirsty and you give him a drink. It's not that complicated. Sometimes we complicate the mission of the church so much, it's not that complicated. To be a friend to another person. Offer them help or offer them a prayer. Little girl. I use that illustration so often because I see it so often. First time I went to Haiti and I watched a group of children playing outside one of our schools. They were not in the school. You have to say anything about schools. Most people can't afford to go to school because, again, a great blessing we have in America. Maybe a lot of people don't realize it, don't appreciate it maybe. But education in this country is one of the few, and maybe the only one, but I can't say that, I'm not sure it's the only one. But it's one of the few where education is free. Now we pay taxes, but we expect kids to be in school, if not we call them truants. But in third world countries, if you want your child to go to school, you gotta pay. You gotta pay for the books. You gotta pay the teacher's salary. You gotta pay all the needs. And to be in school is a real privilege. It's a real honor to be chosen to go to school. And so around many of our schools, it's a sad thing, we see a lot of our children in nice uniforms, starched dresses and trousers. They're clean and fresh. And right outside the gates of the kids in the streets who have no chance. Well, the first time I went to Haiti, I saw a group of the children playing soccer. What caught my attention was not just their age, they were all pre-teens, 10, 11, 12 years old, boys and girls playing together, and about a third of the kids had no clothes on, including the girls. Now, Grandma, Mama, Papa, would you want any of your grandkids to go out playing with 13-year-old boys, 12-year-old boys and girls with no clothes? I can't comprehend that. There's no comprehend that. But that is the way the conditions are. An hour and 50 minutes away from Miami. And even closer than that, to San Diego, or to Galveston, Texas, or wherever the southern borders. It's in that spirit that we provide food for the body, but food for the soul. But what we do also, and probably every bit as important, is not providing just food for the body, or food for the soul, about my friend Jesus, but providing food for the body and the soul together. Let me tell you stories, but I won't do that, it's too long. But I want to tell you just a few things that we provide for body and soul for people to learn to sustain themselves. We don't give food or things to anybody basically just free of charge. That's the worst thing you can do. Welfare is the worst way to handle human problems in the world. It destroys initiative, it destroys credibility, it destroys dignity. Every house that we build these little Caribbean houses. A lot of churches have bought 2 or 3 of these as a project. They only cost, right now, they're $3,600. And they often have as many as 10 people in them. Because in Hispanic cultures, particularly our neighbors, they don't have such a thing as assisted living and long-term care. They all live with families. And families take care of their own. So you might have Aunt Frida, you might have Uncle Joe, you might have Grandpa Jim. They're all in the same facility. And they don't spend much time in their houses, they spend time outside. But $3,600, and the new houses we're building now, you're going to have indoor plumbing. It's out on the porch, but it's a flush, complicated thing that it works. We've built over 200,000 of these, $3,600 houses. That is more than anything else that gives dignity to the people. But before we build a house, and the local individuals are the ones who determine who gets the house, we don't do that. We have self-government as much as we can for local people. But we build that house. The people who are going to get the house have to help build it. Get the kids to clear the land. Get Grandma and Grandpa to help out. We'll teach you how to use a hammer and saw. You can use here's a paintbrush. We'll show you how to do it. We have project directors who guide. And we have some helpers from America. But we do not come to America, build the house for them and give it to them. Over 200,000. They have to help. And part of the dynamic behind that is obvious. If that roof is leaking, you know how to fix it because you helped build it. And you know how to paint your house. You know how to keep it clean. People often ask the question, do they take care of their things? Do people take care of their things better than I take care of my house? They are so proud to have a house. They keep them, they wash them every month. Another aspect of what is so important in giving food for the body and the soul is to teach people a skill. Now, education, we support over 900 schools. Now, I'm not going to suggest we pay their whole entire budgets. We don't do that. There are many ways that they get their budgets paid. They have to raise a lot themselves. But we do provide ancillary things. We provide their lunches. We provide maybe computers, set up a couple science classes. But we are 930-some schools where they are on our list, whenever we get things that they need in school. And that's schools for the academic. But equally important is teaching people skills. And this sounds funny to people in America often. A lot of these things you learn when you were growing up. Teach the ladies how to cook. How to use modern techniques of cooking in certain areas where we can get solar power. We are huge players in solar power all over the Caribbean. We are building solar power stuff all over the place. And we have former employees of the government helping us with that in our government. A lot of retired people who have skills like this. We rely so much on retired people, so we want to consider, work for 6 months, whatever your skill level may be. But in that regard, we are building these houses, building schools, orphanages, fishing villages. Caribbean people are great fishermen. But to see the boats that they go into, the rickety old rowboats, I wouldn't sit in a boat like that on dry land or going on the ocean. And they can't go in deep water because it's too dangerous. We have a supplier in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Grady White is one of them. We give a good price from a boat. We have 5 fishermen, one boat for 5 fishermen. The one who shows the greatest skill is the captain. Then we have 5 boats, that's 25 fishermen. Put up 35 to 50 houses, we become a village. We started by, just a few years ago, to see if a fishing village would work. Our leaders are educators on other Taiwanese. Taiwanese are big in things like this. And they have helped us and guided us. We did the same with tilapia prawns. Ever heard of tilapia 50 years ago? Tilapia is a fish out of Africa, the nice sweet fish. We started, and this is just an example of how we do many things. Somebody had the idea, how about growing fish? Don't get them on the river and streams. We built a fishing village. The Taiwanese are the ones who gave us this insight and helped us build a fishing pond, a tilapia pond. We have over 370 tilapia ponds now. One good tilapia pond can fund its orphanage of 75 kids. But that also gives employment to the people who have no work. Gives them a skill. We do the same as with the cooking, with all life skills. We have a group that makes Christmas cards out of banana bark trees. They support over 100 families. It's got to be a very big business. Somebody came up with an idea. There are many ideas people float. One reason I like to work with Food to the Poor is very few times does anybody says no. It's like different than the voters meeting. Someone say, we can't do that, we haven't got the money. We haven't tried it before. It doesn't work. Try it again. Maybe it's a bit different time. Keep working. If somebody's got an idea, nobody laughs at it. And we keep working with new projects, whether it's a tilapia pond, or it's a new fish now, it's called the kabasi. It takes half the food and it gets twice as big, so it saves a lot of money. And I could go on and on, but I won't. But these are just some ideas of what we do as we feed the body, we feed the soul, and we feed both the body and the soul together. In the bulletin this evening, you have a little brochure. I'd like to just direct your attention to that brochure. Take a look at that picture in the front. Picture of a little girl. It's a picture of hopelessness. Little girl. Look in the eyes. When you go have a physical with your doctor, you can look in your eyes. It's amazing when an eye can tell a doctor about your health. Well, you and I can do the same thing. If one of our friends, co-workers, comes to work some morning, you might say, Betty, what's wrong with you? You don't look very good today. You just look at somebody. You don't look very good. You look at this girl, you look through her eyes. She's not a happy girl. She's not a sad girl. She's neutral. So many of these kids, they're not happy, they're not sad. They're just sort of nothing there, passive. That's so sad to see so many children. They're sort of afraid. They sort of like to open up, but they're afraid. They're so afraid that something's going to go wrong. You look at those eyes. I like to see a sparkle. I like to see hope. I like to see kids in church that are jumping around and giving mothers a fit. As long as they're not my kids, or grandkids. It's just so wonderful to see life in kids. Sometimes you gotta corral them a little bit, but kids are full of life. They have to be. If you could provide, as some of you have done over the years, a gift of food for the poor, you could do that with this little brochure. You open that up. I've talked about some of these things. Many things I haven't talked about, just on time. But there's a yellow line, yellow point right here. You put a little pressure there, and I made an envelope. Written in there. And it has a little envelope with it. An easy $100 bill fit in there. In fact, one man did put 100 in, I put 10 of it one time. I don't carry that kind of money to start with. But when I talk about money, I don't like to do it. That's why I've been a little facetious when I talk about money. I've never liked stewardship studies. I have experienced in almost 60 years of ministry, the people of God respond as their heart responds. Whether anything, whether it's fixing your air conditioner, if there's a need for it, we'll get it fixed. If there's not a need for it, we won't. If we feel it's proper, we'll do it. And it's up to every individual. But I did share a little bit about the needs that we have to raise $1 billion. And I want to make sure we know that we don't raise $1 billion from churches alone. We get tremendous support from corporate America. We get support from many industries. We are a big supplier or distributor of a lot of USDA surplus products. Sometimes farmers give us a lot of medicines that are out of date can be used. We have a regular board of doctors and nurses who sit on a board, and they screen all the different medical things that people have offered to give us. These are good, these are not good. Some countries will take medicines that are out of prescription, some will not. And so to come up with $1,300,000,000 is not strictly the churches, but the churches provide a phenomenal support of mission groups going to work for a week at a time, working a month at a time, and also as a continual source of a concern of the mission of the church. And people relied so heavily on some of the pastors. I took 8 district presidents, twice I took 8 district presidents over to Jamaica to introduce them to food to the poor. And I always asked, I said, I don't want an endorsement from any one of you, because I know you can't do that. But every one of them sent us an endorsement. That was Senator President Dr. Keeshan was board and I did whole trip for us. And I'm getting ready to take another group of Missouri Senate district presidents, probably this time over to Haiti. Because the church has to be involved understanding what's happening in the third world. The basic philosophy of food for the poor is to turn the church of the first world, and we are the first world, to turn the church to see the church of the third world. And I don't mean to be prophetic, and I hope maybe, I want the gospel to succeed, of course. But it's that third world, it's that third wheel that is absolutely gravitating to the gospel so powerfully. And one place that might surprise you, the tremendous growth we are experiencing as the Christian gospel is proclaimed is in Asia, and also tremendous growth in South Florida. The fastest growing Lutheran churches in South Florida are Haitian and Jamaican and Third Island people. And they do the gospel. Many of them do the gospel. Many of them themselves, they don't have much money, but they send a lot of money back to their families back in Haiti. If you can provide a gift, you can put the gift in there, and at the end of the service, I'll stand back there and you can give it to me. If you don't have any cash, you can put it use a check. A check works fine. All you have to do is take a check out of your checkbook and just sign the bottom right-hand corner. I'll fill it up. And don't go for a couple of houses, that would be bad. Or you can use a credit card. I'm not too strict with all that, but it tells you how you use a credit card. Or also giving online. Nice thing about a credit card is you don't even have one. You didn't borrow one from somebody. All I need is a couple numbers. Being facetious again. If you can provide a gift, wonderful. I know you have other concerns. You have other needs. But reach out to touch somebody with the love of Christ. P.T. Niles was a great missionary in Africa. Great missionary. Good friend of my brother. He was a missionary in Africa for 45 years. And they had Dr. Niles and often get together for socialization, for theological studies. Somebody asked me once, Dr. Niles, what does it mean to be a disciple of Jesus Christ? He said, I'll tell you very simply. To be a disciple of Jesus Christ is one poor beggar showing another poor beggar where to find a piece of bread. And that's what the gospel is about. We are all beggars. God's not impressed with all the good deeds we've done. That's a given. I can say this to God on Judgment Day. I started 9 churches. Do I get credit for that? He said, depart from me. I don't even know who you are. You might say, I was chairman of the church council. I was chairman of the board of elders. Depart from me. And then there's one who stands up. His name is Jesus. And he says, Father, I know that boy. I know that girl. I've known them since I gave them their name in the waters of baptism. Oh, my son. Are they yours? He said, yes. They have glorified my name. They have seen Jesus. They have seen Jesus in the eyes and the hearts of others. And they've responded to Jesus every day of their life when opportunity presents itself. And the Father says, do you know my son? The doors are wide open. It's because of Jesus Christ. And I pray that in a different way tonight, and maybe in a different manner, you've seen a different view.